Hello everyone, and welcome to a very special Halloween show today for our development update and community Q&A session. I'm Adam Bradford. Today you can call me Bob, and today we're going to have just so much fun. It's just going to be such a joyful time for us here today. As always, we're going to talk about the lineup a little bit. So we've got latest updates. That's what's going to be first, and we're going to talk about what's going on with D&D Beyond. So we got a team that's just really firecracking and cranking out updates, and so we're going to share a couple of those with you today. And then we're also going to go into some data about our current Encounter Builder beta, and so really looking forward to that as well. And we got some questions the other day about getting some challenge rating tied into this data, and so we're going to share that today, and I think you're going to just love it. And then we're going to move on from there to talk about what's coming up, and we've got a couple of announcements to share. We've got a convention that's going to be happening next week, so we're really looking forward to that. And yeah, we'll get into that. And then today we're going to be painting a little bit. Now painting is something that's real near and dear to me, as many of you know, and so we're going to try. So if you happen to have just a blank canvas lying around at home, I encourage all of you to go and grab that canvas right now, get you some paint. We're going to use some pretty basic colors here today, so we can try to paint along maybe with me, and you might have to do a little bit of catch-up work, but I'll walk you through what's already on this canvas. I had to get going a little bit before the show because otherwise with our time today we probably weren't going to be able to make it. But let's get into it. Latest updates. Share and block updates. You can see in the screenshot right there that now you can do it by source type. So some of you came back to us and said that you wanted to be able to do this by either a source book or an adventure, and now you're able to do that there on the page with content management. So when you're within a campaign and you're trying to share or block several things at once, you can do that by source book and by adventure now. So enjoy that little update. This is what we call quality of life update, and the quality of life, when we really think about it, life just really is great, ain't it? It really is just great, and this is something that's going to make life even better for all of you out there. And then we got some global search updates as well, where now if you are searching for something and you go to click on one of those results that comes and autofills for you, you can control click, and that's going to open up into a new tab. So this is something that we've been trying to make happen for some time. It's been on the list, but it's just been down on the priorities, and so we decided that it was time, and we had a little bit of bandwidth that we could put into this, and we've provided yet another quality of life update. So we're going to be looking for ways that we can do that more and more as we go forward into the coming weeks and months. So thank you very much. Let's see what's next here. I normally have like a clicker that I go through this with, but not today. We're going to look at data is what we're going to look at. And as I said before, we're going to be looking at our Encounter Builder, and the Encounter Builder with that data update we're going to do this by challenge rating, and so we're going to look at what challenge ratings are most popular within the Encounter Builder, and then we're going to look at which monsters are most popular at each challenge rating all along the way. So you can see here that the 1/4 challenge rating, the 1/4 challenge rating, is the most popular challenge that shows up in any of the encounters that have been created so far on D&D Beyond. And so people are out there playing. They're having such a good time at their table with their friends. This is such a great game to bring people together. And sometimes we need to get away from our screens. Sometimes we need to go walk out in the grass. Sometimes we need to paint a picture. We need to sometimes just stop and smell the roses. And so I think that when we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, this is such a good way to connect with our friends. And so as we come together and we're doing this with all these encounters, you see that the 1/4 challenge rating is the most popular distribution. And so that just really rapidly declines after that, because there really is just a lot of low-level play out there, and so we definitely start to see that when it comes to the encounter builder. So next, we're going to look at all of the creatures that are composed of this. I think, now this is going to be a little bit hard to see, and we apologize because it's just so much stuff that we're trying to cram into that little bitty space, and so, but we're doing the best we can here to show this data. I'm going to take a little bit of drink of water. My mouth getting a little cotton mouth, they call it sometimes. All right, that feels a lot better. All right, so we see that with these challenges now, most of the time when you're looking at a bar graph like this, and maybe we could have sliced this up some different ways, and we may try to think about ways to do that in the future, but most of the time these bars are going to be for comparison purposes. But this time I want you to just forget about comparing the bars to each other for just a second, and just think about that each of these challenge ratings all along the bottom there, if you can see that, so hopefully you can, and if you can't, just know that they kind of go in order from 0 to 30. But those challenge ratings at the bottom, you're going to see the monster or the creature or the NPC that is most popular in the encounter builder of that particular challenge rating. And so as you're getting into this, you're going to see that of a 0 challenge rating, commoner is the most common. See what I did there? Commoner is the most common monster that you're going to see with that challenge rating. And so as we go across there, we get bandits. Oh, bandits! Boy, those are a lot of fond memories thinking about bandits and Dungeons and Dragons games that I've had over the years. And you see out there at challenge rating 13, is there anything else it could be but a beholder? They say beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and we're going to really get into that today here with our painting. But that is the most popular monster in that challenge range, and so ultimately, this is just going to show you that of the monster of that challenge, that bar is representing how popular that monster is, what kind of distribution it takes up just within that silo of that challenge rating. So hopefully that makes sense to everyone out there at home. We see that we just don't have anything in that 27, 28, 29 range. That seems like that's a great place for people to maybe do some home brewing, because that's, we don't have a lot of official monsters that live there. So, but you see that, again, people are putting the Tarrasque into these challenges, and I tell you, that's a really tough challenge right there for a group. I've been in a couple of those sessions where Tarrasque was being involved, and boy, those are some real good times. And so this is the data per monster. So I really do hope that you enjoyed our look at the data today. So now let's take a look at what's upcoming. So we are working on the encounter tracker, and we're really just fired up about this. It's going to be just really something else, this encounter tracker. It's something we've been looking forward to on D&D Beyond for a long time, and so we're looking forward to starting some work on that. As I shared with you last week, we have an incredible team coming in from Poland that is working on our mobile app, and we're just tickled to death, really, to be able to pull them in and work here on D&D Beyond and on this app, and we are doing our best to deliver a character sheet to a mobile app. So keep your eyes peeled, and we'll provide more updates as we have them. The Italian Player's Handbook, that's something that we're going to try our darndest to release here at Lucca, and I believe everything's on track. We're getting ready for that. So I think that's just in about another week or so. So if you're an Italian speaker natively, Italy, boy, it's just such a beautiful place. It's such an inspiration, for any kind of art. You can just walk around in that place, and just the paintings that you could do just jump into your mind. But yeah, so if you're going to be there at Lucca, this is something that we're going to be releasing during that time. And so if you're an Italian native speaker, I definitely encourage you to pick that up, because I think it's going to be really something. And then sales tax. So we've talked about this before, and I've heard before that there are two guarantees in life, that we're all going to die and we're all going to pay taxes. And I don't know how true that is. I mean, there are probably some other guarantees in life too, right? But I would say that every human being that I think I've ever seen, anyway, that's definitely been the case for. And so unfortunately, we're going to have to start charging some sales tax before we get in trouble with old Uncle Sam or something. And so we're going to have to do that. And right now, this is probably shocking a lot of folks out there, because I hardly ever talk about dates when I'm on one of these development updates, but we are targeting the 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November. That's a movie I watched not too long ago. I really like that one. I mean, maybe a little bit violent, but I think his heart was maybe in the right place about a lot of things. But ultimately, sales tax targeting the 5th of November. Now, I want to make sure everybody understands what's going to go on with that sales tax. That's going to be when we turn it on, and you're going to see it maybe pop up in your cart if you're checking out on D&D Beyond. But not every region, not every state, not every country is going to have taxes right there on the 5th of November. It's just going to be those that we have configured and set up. And the laws, they're confusing to me. It's just beyond me. But our attorney, he knows exactly what's going on with these, and our finance team. And so they're going to be coming in and configuring this to work for any of the regions that are in that place. So, you may not be getting charged sales taxes on November 5th, but at some point in the coming weeks and months, that's where that rollout is going to start, is on the 5th of November. So if you are trying to pick up some things before the sales tax gets into place, this is us giving you a little bit of a heads up that that's coming. And so I encourage you to do so if you've been sitting on that. And then finally, we've got a convention that we're going to, and that's next week. So next week we're going to be at a convention, and it is GameholeCon. I don't know who named that convention. I know the story about it, but it's a pretty silly name when you really think about it for a convention. But it is an incredible convention, and Alex, boy, he's a good buddy of mine, and he is incredible at what he does, and they just run such a good show. And so if you're anywhere around the Madison, Wisconsin area, I encourage you to go to that show. D&D Beyond is going to be there. You can say hello to me. I'm going to look a little bit different on that day, but I still encourage you to say hello to old Bad Eye, and we'll have a good old time at GameholeCon. So thanks very much. All right, let's see. I think next we're probably going to move into maybe a little bit of painting, just kind of drawing a little bit of an outline here. We want to make sure that eye stalk follows up through there real nice. I'm going to have to start speeding up just a little bit. Realize we're about out of time, ain't we?
You got the perfect warlock, her weapons and supply.